Don't have enough saved to buy a house on your own? I'm going to show you how gifts work for a down payment and closing costs to buy a home. For a lot of people, saving for a house can be difficult, especially as prices of homes continue to increase, making for an increase in the down payment required. So there are a lot of people that rely on their family or close relatives to help them with the down payment and closing costs with a gift. The way a gift works is someone gives somebody money to purchase a home without the expectation that it's going to be repaid. Now, what I want to do is help you see all the requirements here, because gifts can get a little tricky and they can get a little frustrating in the mortgage process if not done correctly. There's going to be a lot going on when you look to buy a house. And if you're looking at using a gift, there are a lot of people that just start moving money around, and it creates so much more work, documentation, and really a headache. So I want to guide you through the best way to do this. That way you have as little frustration as possible when you are choosing to use a gift. So this is a high-level overview of how this works. In your initial documents that you're going to e-sign once we've taken application and you've had an accepted offer is a document called a gift letter. And what a gift letter does is it basically says somebody is willing to give you money to buy a home and they don't expect to be repaid. From there, what ends up happening is there's going to be a transfer of money from the donor to the person buying the home, whether it's from a wire transfer, bank transfer, or a check. Now, this is where it can get a little messy, and we want to make sure that you're doing this the right way. Often people just want to start moving money around, and it creates stress because there's a lot more documentation that can be required and just adds an extra hurdle to the process that really doesn't need to be there. So I'm going to show you the right way to do this. Now, what exactly is a gift letter? A gift letter is just a document, it's one page that you're going to get from your loan officer. On it, the lender will need the donor's name, address, phone number, relationship, gift amount, and sometimes date of transfer. So who's an eligible donor and who can actually give you money? This can trip a lot of people up. It cannot just be a friend, someone saying, hey, I'll give you some money to buy a house. That's not going to work. According to Fannie Mae, an eligible donor can be the borrower's spouse, child, or any individual who is related to the borrower by blood, marriage, adoption, or legal guardianship. It can also include a fiancé or domestic partner. This is all for primary and secondary properties. You cannot get a gift for an investment property. If you're buying a home that is 2 to 4 units and it's your primary residence, you're going to need at least 5% down of your own money, and then you can get a gift on top of that. Now, in addition to the gift letter, what else is your loan officer going to need? They're going to want a copy of the check as well as the bank statement showing it clearing in the borrower's account. And that's it. Sometimes in the mortgage world, less is more. It's already a cumbersome process, so loan officers don't want to inundate you with more documentation or questions, which can lead to even more documentation and more questions. A gift of equity is allowed, and that is where someone would, instead of giving you a check for money, they're giving you a portion of the equity they already have in the home, and basically transferring that over to you. For a gift of equity, the appraisal is going to be extremely, extremely important. Now, FHA, they're a little more strict on terms of eligible donors. Family members would be a child, foster child, parent or guardian, spouse or domestic partner, legally adopted son or daughter, brother, sister, stepbrother, stepsister, uncle or aunt, and sister or brother-in-law. So in addition here, FHA is going to require that it's your primary residence only, and cash on hand is not allowed. A gift letter is how and when the funds are transferred are the same as conventional. And lastly, the gift of equity is only eligible if the donor is a family member. So now let's jump to USDA. And they're a little bit different. Donors can be anyone that doesn't have an interest in the property. They don't require the donor to have familial ties to the borrower. Also, gifts cannot be used as reserves. On other loans, they can be used as reserves. And sometimes loans will say that you need 3 months reserves, for example. And what reserves are is it's money left in your bank account after you paid the required amount after closing. But on USDA, the gift funds cannot be used as reserves. Lastly, cash on hand is not acceptable. Now, VA is going to be very similar to USDA. That includes how funds are transferred, which is going to be through a gift letter and check made directly to the person that's buying the home. So let's boil all this down. The best way to go about getting a gift letter is number 1, completing the gift letter sent to you by your loan officer. Number 2, have the donor write the check made out to the person buying the home and then deposit that check. And number 3, have the donor provide the bank statement showing the money coming out. And lastly, have the person receiving the gift funds provide the bank statement showing the check clearing. And that's it. I hope this was helpful. If you have more questions on how gift funds work, my contact information is below.